you are right this moment thinking about getting some PA support, business support, whatever you want to call it, somebody in your business that can run with the tasks that are keeping you stuck in the weeds and from actually moving your business forward. But similarly, that the thought of keeping somebody busy 7 or 8 hours a day, 5 days a week on actually productive things and not having the stress of constantly thinking, and what next, and what next, and what next, then episode 184 is for you. Hello, Emma Mills here, and welcome to episode 184 of MiTV. And this week's episode is dedicated to all of the people out there who know they need some support. To be fair, every episode is dedicated to all of those people. This episode specifically is about the people that are in the midst of making that decision, whether it's they need somebody full-time, whether they just need somebody part-time and outsource, whether do I actually have enough to give somebody to keep them busy for X hours a day, so many days a week, full time. And it can be a stressful, overwhelming experience to know that you're going to take somebody on full time and am I going to keep them busy? So this episode, we're going to absolutely whiz through all the right things to think about and the right decisions to make when you're going to go full time, outsourced. How much stuff have I got? How much do I need? Because I know it can be difficult. And I've had my business this year 14 years now. And in the past 6 months, I've had let's call a full-time PA. So it's taken me 13 and a half years to get to an absolute 5 days a week, 7 or 8 and more hours a day support. And I know that I need that now, but in my run-up in the past 13 and a half years, I've had a lot of support. I've had support of varying virtual people in my own team. I've done it all. And I understand that when you first start to foray into getting some support, that some people it's different, but for most people it's kind of a thought of, the thought of having to keep somebody busy, the thought of having to obviously manage and motivate that person. But I think the first thing is to, if you've not had support at all, to go straight from none to full time. It's a bit of a journey in itself. It's a bit of an experience to be fully confident that this person's going to be busy all of the time, and you're not going to have to think about, wow, they've got nothing to do this afternoon. What are they going to do now? So today's episode is about how we're going to navigate our way through that. And the first thing I want you to think about in this is, okay, you've identified you need some support, which is fabulous. Because a lot of people still don't get there and they're trying to do everything themselves. But one of the second things to think about after whether you need some support, and most people don't, is their own value of what they want to achieve every hour and their hourly rate. So if you're a long-term viewer of MiTV, you'll know that I've talked about hourly rate a lot, and ultimately all of us have our own hourly rate that we want to be earning every hour. So in order to take home the money you want, in order to make the turnover in your business that you want, whether that's whether that's £50 an hour, whether it's £100 an hour, whether it's 1,000 and more, whatever that is, you will have a figure that you are looking to generate, whether that's for your own income or for the turnover of the business as a whole. And if you drill down in on that and really get that in your mindset, so let's say for the simplicity of maths, because as we know in last week's episode, it's not our strong point. Let's say it's £100 an hour. So doing tasks that generate you and your business £100 an hour are high level tasks. I think we're all going to agree that you're going to have to be doing pretty good stuff in that time to generate £100. Now, everything I talk about every week is about leveraging that time. So if you're going to, let's say, I always use this expense. I'm sure lots of you don't do this, but if you're going to forward your invoices to your bookkeeper, if you're going to reply to some emails, if you're going to be in your inbox all day, if you're going to post your, schedule your posts on social media, if you're going to book customers in for appointments. Now, all of these things are not going to generate you directly £100 an hour. Now, without doubt, they need to get done in the business to keep it moving, and they can't. I hate the word low value tasks, because without doubt, everything I've just said needs to get done. It's just that you don't need to do it, and if you do it, it's going to take you further away from the £100 an hour than closer to it. So we're agreed we need somebody else to deliver all of that stuff that you shouldn't be doing. But if you just keep in mind, okay, I need to be only focusing on the high value, the £100, the £1,000 tasks, I feel like it makes the next step of how am I going to get some support a little easier, because once you galvanize the fact that I only want to be focusing on this stuff, you then need to keep as much away from you that takes you out of this mode. So to help us make this decision on what is the right solution for you at this point in your business, I mean, it changes all the time. As I say, it took me 13 and a half years to know I need someone full-time supporting me. But what we're going to do now is test my art skills to the max. So we're going to look at employing someone first. And there's two things we're going to consider in my new diagram, which is the costs you're going to spend on that person, but also all the other intangible stuff, which is actually can be way more costly because it takes from you and your time. So let's go blue. And let's say, so here is your current level of fixed cost. Now, I know a member of the team isn't necessarily a fixed cost, because it's not like you're having to think, I need to find 12 months salary. You know, you just need to think about the next month's salary, because if they don't work out, obviously you can get rid of somebody. So when you are making that decision as well, don't think, oh, I need to find 25 grand, because you don't. You just need to find the next month after that salary. But if we take the blue line as the fixed cost to start, and we're going to employ someone here, so what that's going to do is going to lift up the level of cost to here. And obviously this new level doesn't fluctuate, but it has increased. And what happens in here, if we just switch colours to pink, so we've got to find this additional money, but inside here, so I'm going to do my pink lines, this is all of the more intangible things we're going to need to think about and manage and take from your time. So this is the time of training someone, this is the time of managing them, because that's one thing I think smaller business owners can be, and I've definitely been guilty of it in the past, is that you just want somebody to start and get into it and get, be good, get ready, but to actually have people as a success in your business, you need to invest time, money and energy into them. So that's like, although the blue line is a visible fixed cost, the pink can almost be way more costly than the blue fixed cost, because it's going to take from you. So if you're going to be the person to onboard and look after and train and have them do things in the way of your business, that's going to take from you. So we need to be prepared for that. We need to be prepared that you can't spend all of your time on the £100 tasks. It may well lead in the months coming that you've then got more time, but we can't deny that you're going to have to do this, or somebody is in your business. It's going to take the time, effort and energy from it. And then the other thing, so my lines in the opposite direction are going to signify, so when somebody goes on holiday, when they're away, who's going to do that work? Is it not just going to get done? Is it going to go back onto you? Do you need to pay somebody else extra, like a temp or somebody else that can cover that time and do the additional? So there is potentially additional cost there as well, and there's just a lot to think about in that addition, because obviously every time it's a kind of a never-ending, you never get like the sweet spot, because when you take somebody on, you need to fill them up, and then when they're full up, you've then got the ongoing management of, okay, they're off today, who's going to do that work? And it's obviously always a balancing act. But if we then, if we're going to take somebody else on, the cost raise again on a slightly different shade of blue, and they do level out, but inside here, if I go back to the pink, there is more training and time from you, and less time on the £100 tasks and things to manage, and HR issues and people going on holiday and all that jazz. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against that at all, because at my PA there's 32 people now and they're all employed, so I'm not against that at all. It's just this video is about understanding when is the right time for you to start to go, oh, actually I'm going to have someone full time, or actually, we've got clients who grow their business fully by outsourcing their support, because they just don't want to do the little crossed pink lines of having to manage and motivate them and make sure there is enough work at all times. They want the flexibility of, there's less work this month, I need less support. There's more work this month, we need to ramp it up and get more support. And so if I just, I should title my drawing, shouldn't I? So I should just title my drawing, the employed things to think about. And then down here, if we just title my next drawing, the outsourced things to think about. This is obviously a different graph, and it's a different way of working. There are pros and cons with both, but from a cost point of view, and again, for me, the most important part when you grow in a business, and I've been there, I'm still there now, we're kind of always there, I guess, in an element, is that the mental drain it takes from you of having to manage, motivate, and find somebody the tasks and make sure what they're doing is right. And actually, if you want a different solution whereby, so if this is your cost down here and you want to outsource the work, this is a far more forgiving and gradual addition of cost and curve. So if your work goes up, then if you have quieter periods, this is pretty much what it looks like at MiPA with our clients, in that if they have busier times, quieter times, a lot of our clients will get into a rhythm and they just stay at this particular, they'll stay at one level. But what happens inside here is that, I should just switch to pink again. What happens in here is that they are obviously choosing a solution where, we work with lots of clients all the time. We can suggest, improve, implement. My team are already trained internally to be support PAs. So this pink crosses, it doesn't really happen in the same way. Of course, there's an element of having to get to know a client, understand the way of the way of your business, the way that you work. But the pink, I've done squiggles here to demonstrate it's a different kind of support that they will need from you. It's far less onerous because you're coming to you're going to use a service that is doing this day in, day out, and they are used to getting quick started with lots of businesses. So inside here, while the blue line for sure is a cost to your business, it's flexible, it's scalable, you can flex it down, you can flex it up. And I just think, and this is not about one over the other, because I've also got employed team members and I've got outsourced team members for some of our internal functions. So this is just about what is right for you. And the outsourced solution, I mean, the top one I kind of call the step ladder of stress, because there is an element of, right, you're in this now, you've got people that rely on you, depend upon you to, and also like share the vision as a leader of a company. Whereas with the outsourced solution, that kind of pressure is way less on you, because whilst we've got clients where we are fully all of their team and we're bought into their business and we are their business and we get how customer service wants to be, it's not the same kind of onerous, employment commitment that you have obviously with full-time teams. So I just feel like the drawing, although they look like a child of 10 has done them, the outsourced drawing kind of shows that you have way more flexibility, way more ability to scale up, scale down, and less headspace. And if I go back to my first point at the beginning, is that with the outsourced solution here, you have got all the time in the world to focus on the £100 an hour tasks, because so for example, at MiPA, we create processes for our clients. Any tasks that we take over, we are responsible for making sure they go well, that we can suggest, we can improve on them. And our clients are left to focus, as I call it, on the fun stuff, on the things that they do well. So I hope this helps with your decision making, because the last thing I want you to be is stressed in the actual keeping a PA busy, because it's kind of like counterproductive. You want somebody to be taking all the tasks off you and running with it, but in the same time you're kind of got that like cloud over you of, okay, what they're going to do next, and you're constantly needing to find them things. And I just hope my snazzy cartoon diagram helps you realize like what stage you're at and what is the right thing for you. As I say, we employ and we use outsource for internal functions. We have clients who use outsourcing as a journey towards getting full-time members of the team, and we have clients who have no interest in employing a team and actually want 2, 3, 4 of our outsourced MiPA members to fulfill everything like customer service and operational wise. So it's different for everyone. I just hope today gives you a little bit more clarity on the things to think about, so you don't get sucked in to the training and the managing and the motivation, and you stop doing all of the £100 per hour tasks, because they are important to move your business forward. I hope today's episode helps you to get your head out of the dirt and into the clouds, and I will see you next week for episode 185. See you then. Bye bye.